If you haven't come across DEYA Brewing yet, well then, it's high time you did. Based out in Cheltenham, they've got a towering reputation for brewing punchy, powerfully hopped beers packed full of flavour. And that's what we're trying this week. I've got two of their beers to try here. One of them, one of their flagships, Steady Rolling Man, a pale ale at 5.2% ABV, and the other, an IPA, Glue, at 6% ABV. Over the course of this video, we're going to learn what these beers look like, how they smell, how they taste, and most importantly of all, whether they're a good pick for you. I'm excited to try these beers. Let's get cracking. Hello again and welcome back to Brew Report, where this week I'm ditching the glasses. It means that you don't get reflections on my face, but it also means I can't see. Hopefully, it's worth it. This week, I was travelling out towards the west of the country, and on those travels, we stopped off just outside Cheltenham. We didn't go into Cheltenham, no. We did a much better trip. We went to Cheltenham Business Park. And let me tell you, folks, that is the best damn business park I've ever been to. Not only do you have a distillery, not only do you have a premium coffee roaster on site, you've also got this. DEYA Brewing's tap room, their brewery, all their facilities there. It's a phenomenal establishment. If you get the chance, you should absolutely go there. It's a very pleasant place to be. On that trip, I picked up a few cans, and we're going to start with this one. It's Steady Rolling Man, named after the song by blues guitarist legend Robert Johnson. It's got sort of an homage to the musician himself on the can, you can see there. And you know, it generally looks like a pretty attractive can. It's got the sort of contrast of the pink and the green on there, the light blue. It looks brightly coloured. If you look across the rest of the DEYA design, you can see there's a lot of bright colours, a lot of contrast. It's very fun, it's very bright, it's very enticing. And generally makes me quite excited to see what's inside this can. Let's start with how this beer looks. Well, first of all, we can see the colour is this beautiful sort of straw, hazy gold colour. It's quite cloudy, quite hazy, and that's, I imagine, a mix of factors driving that. First of all, there's the wheat and the oats in the grain bill. It's barley, wheat and oats all together there. Partly it's the fact that it's going to be dry hops. There's going to be a fair amount of hop additions on the cold side here. And then finally, of course, there's the fact that this beer is unfined, which, as an upshot of that, means that it's also suitable for vegans. We've also got a fairly thick, white, close textured head that's sticking around quite tenaciously, which gives this beer a rather traditional, rather fun appearance, certainly making me want to give it a try. The aroma is delicious. This is a very American smelling beer. And by that, I mean there's a balance of pine resin on the one hand, that sort of resinous, piney, almost like slightly oily aroma on the one hand, and on the other you've got lots of juicy flavours. The peach, the orange, the pineapple, those sort of tropical fruit flavours, those very sweet, fructose heavy fruits there. It's kind of boozy. But yeah, definitely sort of like very ripe peach, very tinned peaches, syrupy tinned peaches I'm getting from that. And a little bit grassy. So it's that balance of fruitiness and sort of resiny, grassy, dank aromas on the nose. Given the power of that aroma, it's surprisingly light and it's pretty refreshing. I'm getting, to start, biscuit malt, and I wasn't expecting, given the amount of hoppy aroma on that, I wasn't expecting the malt to come through first, but I'm getting that to start with. I'm getting some of those hoppy flavours coming through after, the orange juice, the pineapple, the grass. I mean that both in the grass clipping sense and also in that it's quite dank. It's weird, it almost tastes like a session, and given that it's 5.2%, it's not super strong, but it's also not the sort of thing you can drink all night, or at least not what I can drink all night. I put it in a slightly weird position. It's not a session, but it tastes kind of like a session. It doesn't have the flavour of a punchy pale ale, but it's also not the sort of thing you can drink over the long haul. So it's kind of an odd place to put it, really. Okay, so we've got here a beer that smells incredible. It smells piney, grassy, fruity, juicy, tropical, all those things that we're loving and we're looking for in a traditional, an American-style pale ale. The taste, however, lets it down a little bit. And that's where we get more of that biscuit malt, which we enjoy, but not so much of those juicy, grassy flavours that we got through on the nose. And the finish is short, it's clipped. And I'm left feeling like if this were maybe a little bit stronger, then I could enjoy it as a sort of really enjoyable, really flavoursome, really aromatic pale ale. If it were a little bit weaker, then at least then I could enjoy it at a session. As it is, it's neither here nor there. I'm enjoying it, but I wouldn't actively go out and recommend it. You know, if I were at the tap room, I'd have one, but I wouldn't then go back for a second. I'd be looking for a different beer to try next. And on that basis, I think this has to be a 2 out of 5. But we know that DEYA can do better beers than this. And I think it's about time we tried something else, don't you? So having had what is arguably DEYA's flagship beer, Steady Rolling Man, now we're going to have a try of another of their regular beers. This is Glue. This beer gets its name allegedly from one of the people brewing with DEYA, Reg, who has the title Glue, who has the nickname Glue because she holds the whole place together. It's a sweet name and it's a great concept for a beer. In terms of the beer itself, it's a 6% IPA, so a little bit stronger than Steady Rolling Man. And it simply says on the can, Juicy IPA in our house style. Keeping things simple. The can itself is beautiful. Again, it's brightly coloured. It's almost psychedelic with all those contrasts. And again, it's got that sort of similar hand-drawn aesthetic that characterises all of DEYA's branding and marketing. So they're keeping things consistent. And again, it's brightly coloured. It's exciting. I want to see what's inside. So let's get a look at this beer. Again, it's very hazy, just like the beer we had before, but a slightly paler, more yellowy colour. It's more of a pale orange in colour rather than the straw we had with Steady Rolling Man. It's very bright, it's very hazy again, and I suspect that's a result of a mix of that unfined process, the wheat, the oats, and that dry hop addition. And again, a thick head, slightly thicker head this time, with again that fine white bubble structure. Much danker aroma. Here I'm getting much more of that sort of wet grass aroma. The balance is very firmly shifted towards that grassier pine resin side of things. A little bit spicy, a little bit of coriander. I'm still getting some of that orange juice, some of that tropicality, some of that pineapple, but much less so. The balance is very much firmly on the side of that danker, greener aroma profile there. A little bit boozy. That's good. Let's hope the flavour carries through. There we go. That is more like it. That is a really resinous sort of grass danky start, and you get that real sort of hot bomb flavour. But then as it evolves on the palate, you get more of those fruity flavours, you get more of that sweetness, you get more of that mango, that pineapple, that passion fruit, that orange. And then as it evolves through, you pick up some bitterness along the way as well. That sort of balances out. You've got the bitterness on the one hand and some sort of slightly white pepper, coriander, that sort of almost, yeah, that light spiciness towards the end. And that helps with the alcohol content warming the tongue as well. So you end up here with a very beautiful balance of flavours. It really takes you on a journey throughout the whole process. You can probably tell by the pace at which I've started talking that I'm getting quite excited by this beer. And that's completely right. I came to DEYA with very high expectations. They've got a towering reputation for punchy, powerfully hopped beers. And I'm glad to say that Glue, it's worth the hype. This is a very good beer. And it's the sort of beer where I will not only order it for myself, but I'm going to order around for my friends as well to make sure that they are aware of what they would otherwise be missing out on. And on that basis, I have to give this one a 4 out of 5. This is a much more flavoursome beer than we had before. The glue in this glass, and I say that both because Reg is the glue that holds DEYA together, but also because this is thick in terms of the mouthfeel. It's sticky, it coats the inside of the mouth beautifully. The This is beautiful. And if you are a big fan of a hop bomb, if you are seeking out the hoppiest and the juiciest, the dankest of beers, this is definitely the one for you. Probably not one for your traditional camera types, but if you like them fresh, if you like them hoppy, if you like the American style IPAs, definitely give this one a try. But that's about enough from me. What I want to hear now is, what did you think? Are you a big fan of DEYA Brewing? Have you sampled the delights of their bar and tap room? Do you have any other super powerfully hopped beers that you think are absolutely incredible and you think I should try next? Whatever your thoughts, let me know in the comments down below. If you liked this video, do give it a like, check out the rest of the videos on my channel, and check me out on brewreport.co.uk, where I post fresh beer content every week on Sundays. And until next time, happy drinking.